Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing, people? How you
Hello,
living?
hello,
How you
hello.
feeling? Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Saturday night over there. It's Sunday morning where we are, but we are ready to help you set your lineups for week 9. Are we in week 9 already?
Week 9 of the fantasy football season. Who would have thought?
Jeez,
You know,
that's crazy. But
not me.
Thank you for joining us. Do us a favor, if you would be so kind as to hit that like button for us as you join the stream. We're going to be answering as many questions as we can today from top to bottom.
That's right.
As you guys know, super chats do get answered straight away. It is not compulsory, of course. But what's the first question we got here today?
It looks
Eric,
like
right?
I see Chad.
Oh, you see Chad? Okay. Oh, my bad. You're right.
Eric.
Go ahead. Chad, you're right.
Hold on. Let me just. I can't really see.
I got it here.
Question,
So
actually.
do I start Dallas Goedert, Marquise Brown, assuming Kyler Murray plays, or Nico Collins? So I am under the impression that Kyler will not play. What's your impression on that?
Yeah, I think it was already been announced that Clayton Tune is going to be the starter for this week.
Yeah, and I think they had to activate Kyler in a certain
just
frame, and they didn't.
Time.
So
yeah. So do I start Dallas Goedert, Hollywood, assuming Kyler plays, or Nico Collins? Well, I guess it depends. You said you have Kincaid, so I would personally be going Dallas Goedert, Nico Collins.
Well, you have to choose one.
Sorry, Dallas Goedert. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. You there as well.
Yeah.
Just Flow says, should I start Dalton Schultz or Pitts? This would be Kyle Pitts for me. No Drake London this week. That doesn't automatically mean that Kyle Pitts is going to have a good game, but it certainly opens up the target share a little bit. And Taylor Heineke, we know how much he targets the studs on his team. We've seen that in the past. So
yeah, it makes sense. I'm going to go Jake Ferguson. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I won't be surprised.
Jake Ferguson isn't an option here.
Where? Oh, Dalton Schultz. Okay, excuse me. Kyle Pitts. I will go Kyle Pitts here. I'm still waking up.
He's struggling over here. He is struggling.
I'm still waking up here.
Mr. Green says, I traded Pollard for Gus Edwards, and next week I got a trade lined up. Gus and Ford for Mixon. I have Kamara, CMC, and Kyron Williams and Mixon after this week. I'm pretty indifferent on that deal.
Yeah.
I would say Ford and Mixon, I don't think are that far apart, and also Gus is starting to be a crucial part of that offense.
Yeah.
So I like Mixon as a buy, but he's not like the person where you send these two players away and you're like, oof, okay, I have a clear upgrade now, and I no longer need to worry about that spot. I would be actually happier with a Tony Pollard, Jonathan Taylor, a Walker, a Jacobs, even like a Pacheco. I would prefer.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I guess like you tier down, you had the highest tier at one point to tier down, and then you went to the middle. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. He also says, I have Lamar. Should I start Gus or Ford this week? As in Jerome Ford or Gus Edwards. Where would you lean there?
These guys are actually really close back to Mac. I'm going Jerome Ford. He's playing the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
This week, but Gus Edwards is also a really good start coming into this week, in my opinion.
I would agree that they're very, very close for me as well. I do have Gus 2 spots ahead, and I just feel like he has taken over that backfield a little bit more than Jerome Ford has in his scenario, and it's not really his fault. Jerome hasn't played poorly. It's just Kareem Hunt's been good, and he's been injured, and Kareem's kind of growing a role, so it's close. Justice is going to play a part, but I'll go Gus there. Bike Walker, what is up, my man? This league is a PPR double flex league. I got Gabe Davis, Puka in for now, but Puka is still questionable with a knee problem. Any news? No news as of right now.
No news, yeah.
Latest news is that he's questionable, so you'll have to stay tuned to reports. And then he says, got to start one of these: Puka, Aaron Jones, or Stevenson. This would actually be
for me.
Where do you stand?
I think if the window, because at the moment Matthew Stafford window is still open to play. If Matthew Stafford he's currently listed as questionable. If he does play, I'm going Puka. But if he doesn't play, I'll be going Ramondre Stevenson here.
Okay, so this is the week that I am going to ignorantly put Aaron Jones back into my lineup, and has everything to do with Coach Speak. By the way, Coach Speak Index over on Twitter. I don't know if you've checked him out, but he's a great account. Coach Speak Index, relatively new account, been growing a lot. Basically takes clips from what the coaches have said throughout the week, and also puts like historic percentages on if they followed up what they've said, essentially. And from what we can see, Aaron Jones, according to the coaching staff, is going to be cut loose. So I still believe Aaron Jones is a good player. He just hasn't been a feature since that injury.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think if they're claiming that he's going to be cut loose, I think he's the best player of Jones and Stevenson. So I'm going to go Aaron Jones there, but it's close.
I can understand.
And that Washington defensive front, you know, they lost their edge rushers, but the reason they're so good against the run has typically been Payne and John Allen. So it's close, though. Let's go Raiders. You love it. Eric says, assuming health in Week 10 rest of season, rank Carr, Murray, Fields, Dobbs. This would be Fields, Murray, Dobbs, Carr for me, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, Dobbs has the higher ceiling, I think, going to the Vikings. But Carr, top 10 quarterback from weeks
he's played well.
five onwards, so very interesting.
We should definitely give him credit for sure.
Yeah. Eric also says, would you trade Ridley and Foreman to get Carr and Warren? Derek Carr and Warren. I mean, let's start off there. I wouldn't do that. I think if you are in desperate need of a quarterback, I think there are better quarterbacks you could receive, especially if you have Ridley and Foreman. I'm assuming this is also a one quarterback league as well.
I think if you would probably agree here, like Carr is not someone you're excited to start unless the matchup is good still. He's not an auto start at this point. And assuming this is a one quarterback league, because I feel like you would have told us if it's super flex, I'm not going to trade a guy like Ridley to go and get Carr. I know Warren is clearly there as well, but no, I wouldn't. He also says Myers to get Murray as in Jacoby. Should I do both? I'm worried the Cardinals won't activate. I believe that Kyler is going to play next week. I think that's been their plan since day one, and they've kind of stuck to it. It's like every week, it's like, oh, could he play this week? Could he play this week? And from the very beginning, they were like, nope, he's going to practice a lot, and then he's going to play. You know, so I assume that they're going to stand by their word. Now,
and also they traded away Josh Dobbs as well. So I mean, a big indication, I think.
Now, Jacoby Myers, I believe he will be better than the last time that he and Aiden O'Connell played together. But it's still a risky thing there. I mean, honestly, in general, Eric, you probably know this. I know you're on the stream, pretty consistently. Thanks for your support. We really don't like the idea of trading value for a quarterback in a one quarterback league, unless it's a top elite guy. And I have brought Kyler Murray as a stash for a long time for one quarterback leagues, but still, it's just not something that we really like. But I do think Kyler Murray will play this year. I think Badaki agrees. So use discretion. And then he says, one quarterback keeper. Thanks for the help. Okay, so it's a keeper league. That does change things because I don't know if there's like a limit. I don't know if there's a limit to the amount of players you can keep, but if there's, let's say you can keep 5 players and Kyler instantly becomes your best quarterback, then I would do that in a keeper.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think there are a couple of different, makes sense. Thank you so much there, Eric.
We did just get a super chat, so let's get to that straight away. Zach, thank you for the donation. Very kind of you. PPR, need 2 wide receivers and a flex. Well, you're starting CeeDee Lamb, you're starting Devonta Smith, and then it would be Rachaad White for me versus the Texans.
Yeah, that makes sense. The person that I'm contemplating on is Gabe Davis.
Yeah. He probably has more upside than Rachaad, but definitely a lower floor.
Exactly. Definitely a lower floor. So I guess I would also just say whatever you need, definitely contemplate that, Zach, and let us know. Or you don't have to let us know, but just have a think. I think there were very meaningful targets last week coming from Gabe Davis, and they weren't these crazy yards, big bomb catches. You know, they were short, intermediate, at least short for Gabe Davis, right? So Keep that in mind. But thank you so much for the super chat. I will be interested in starting Gabe Davis here. We did get another super chat.
Yeah, by the way, I was going to say just quickly, over 70 people watching the stream. Just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. There's a lot of things you could do with your time on a Saturday night, so thanks for hanging out with us and enjoying the stream. We're going to answer questions from top to bottom, and we'll answer as many as we can. Do not put your questions in twice. If we see that, we're probably going to put you in timeout. Just be patient.
Be careful.
We've done it before. We don't want to do it, but we will if we have to. And go ahead and hit that like button for us. It's just a very, very simple way for you to support this stream. Let's get up there to 50 likes. We're only about 25 away now. So if everyone can do us a favor and smash that like button as we help you out, you help the channel. Y'all know the deal. The next super chat is from Russian. He says, good evening. Love that. Probably morning for you. It is. I made a trade. Want your thoughts? My Olave for Debo and Singletary. If Singletary's involved, this feels like a 12-man where Singletary has some sort of value. I'm pretty indifferent on this one. I'm pretty indifferent. Like, I do prefer Olave over Debo overall rest of the year, but I can see in like a 12 or 14-man league how Devon Singletary has value. So pretty indifferent there myself.
Yeah, I'm okay with it as well. I'm happy with either. I think what makes it indifferent is the wide receivers. I think both of these guys have similar ceilings in Olave and Debo. In my opinion, I'm not sure Zach feels that way, but you just get a bonus with Devin Singletary if he is going to be the lead guy moving forward this year. So I'm really happy with either side of the trade.
My concern is that when Pierce is back healthy next week, it's a split backfield, and you don't really have the confidence to start a guy like Singletary. And I do prefer Olave, so Olave is just getting a ridiculous amount of targets that Debo, he just won't see. Debo won't see that amount of targets. I know it's not converted, but he won't see that air yards. He won't see that amount of targets. He'll get involved in different ways, but not when everyone's healthy. So that's tough. I do prefer Olave there. Isaac, thank you for your comment here. He says Henderson or Freeman at running back. Where do you stand there? This is probably the most impossible question to answer, but where do you stand? I mean, they're literally 50-50 share of the same backfield.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. I think I don't think there's a wrong answer personally here.
Well, there probably is, but we don't know the answer.
I will be going Henderson. He is, in my opinion, the main back coming into this week. He was someone that was utilized over Royce Freeman in week 1. Coming off of the street as well, coming from Wendy's or Chili's, sorry. So I will be going Darrell Henderson here.
If I'm not mistaken, Royce wasn't on the team either, so I definitely hear where you're coming from. I think
he was in the practice squad. That's what it was.
What I would say is there are trends to tell us that potentially Royce is going to be more involved than we might think. I know last week he played a higher percentage of snaps. Henderson got more touches. I think it will depend on the game script as well. But against Green Bay, with Brett Rippon at quarterback, it is genuinely impossible to actually give you a good answer on this. But I would say Henderson as well. But there's really no confidence in me saying that. So
I think the only upside for both of these guys is that the Packers give a lot of points to the running back position. Yeah. So I think that's why I think you could be safe either way.
Let me ask you a more difficult question then. Would you start Royce Freeman or Keontae Ingram?
Royce Freeman.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll start Royce Freeman there.
I'm playing against you this week, and that's my decision. Is Royce Freeman or Keontae Ingram, and I don't know what to do.
I just gave you the Ukadu because I will start Keontae Ingram, not jokes.
Who knows, honestly. Corky McDougal. What a name.
Well, Gabe Davis or Downs. Sorry, I flex. Oh, no, sorry. Never mind. Yes, Corky McDougal. I thought that was the second part of Isaac's question.
Pittman or Collins was the next one, my bad. I'll go Pittman.
Yeah, there you go. Pittman or Collins. Yeah, I'll go Pittman as well. Sorry, that's why I knew he had a second part, but anyways.
Full PPR, Ramondre or Henderson at running back this week. Ramondre for me. I know Badaki as well. Gabe Davis or Downs at the flex. Gabe Davis or Downs at the flex. Downs is dealing with an injury. He's questionable to play. But if he plays, I think I'm going Downs.
Yeah, I think I'm going Josh Downs as well. Safer floor, higher upside, obviously with Gabe Davis. But at the same time, one of the things we've been saying, we want skin in that game.
Mm,
Bills and Bengals
yeah.
could be a crazy game, so hopefully that helps. Jimmy T, JSN or Christian Watson. I was leaning JSN. Now I'm starting to think Watson. Um, you know,
That's
crazy,
difficult.
crazy to say that Jackson has a safer floor.
Yeah, I think they have similar floors, but if Watson hits, I think his ceiling is higher still with all three of those wide receivers healthy in Green Bay. And to anyone out there who is using my rankings over on the Flock Fantasy site, I'll be updating those after this stream because there have been quite a few changes in the last couple of days. But it would be Watson for me, just because I do feel like if one of these players hits big time, like goes crazy, it would be Watson. Clearly, you have the least amount of confidence in him, but it's not like Metcalf or Lockett are injured. Those guys are all healthy, and so is Bobo, and it's just.
And last
tough.
week, Jason saved his week his week with that last minute touchdown. So
yeah, and it's hard because he saved his week, but in that offense, it's like they could do that. Where it's, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like in the Packers, it feels less likely that there's like a save your week touchdown, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying.
There's just not that consistency from this offense, but I definitely agree with you. Dawson or Ford?
He also said, Dawson or Ford. Dotson's interesting, man. I did bring him as a high upside player coming into this week. It is a risky play.
I wish I knew how that Washington and New England game was going to play out, because I wish I knew how it would, like, does Washington come in and dominate? Probably not, right? It's at New England, and that makes me more enticed about the idea of someone like a Jahan Dotson in my lineup. Right now I'm actually struggling with that question against you this week, but it's between Dotson and Lockett, and I think I'm going Lockett. But
I would be going Jerome Ford here.
You would? Okay.
I feel safer. The matchup's better. Patriots do give up, if I'm not mistaken, the 12th most amount of points to the wide receiver position, so they do give up a decent amount of points. But does it just revert back to my biggest concern with Dotson coming in from last week? Was that not that he didn't get the work, was that Jamison Crowder instantly stepped into 7 targets. And he is not my concern. My concern is that he is just going to be playing that Curtis Samuel role.
Sure.
And I don't know if they're going to be like, well, we saw what Dotson did last week. Let's just rock with it.
I definitely understand the concern. I think you could actually make the case on both sides as well, because let me ask anyone who's starting Jerome Ford. I mean, you're starting him. Are you not at all worried about Hunt? Because that's also something I would be worried about personally, is Hunt. Would they continue using Pierre Strong? He's looked good as a receiver. So there's questions on both sides there. I would say the higher upside play is Dotson, but the safer floor is Jerome Ford. If I'm trying to shoot for the moon, I'll go Dotson and hope that something just clicked. They're like, oh yeah, that's the first round wide receiver we drafted. Let's get him the ball. So if I'm shooting for the moon, it's Dotson.
I hear you. I think it's a big indication for both these guys. Jerome Ford coming off an injury last week, and I think that's why he was limited. You saw that 3-headed monster. I think that kind of changes this week, or it could stay the same.
It could. So it's been effective. That's what's concerning. By the
100%.
way, we now have over 100 people watching us on their Saturday night, or wherever they are in the world. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for spending time listening to two stooges talking about fantasy. We appreciate you. We're going to do our absolute best to give you guys some advice on week 9 of the fantasy football season. We're answering questions from top all the way down to bottom. We're going in order. Okay. Super chats get prioritized. It's not compulsory. The only other thing that we ask from you guys is that you do us a huge favor as we help you. Please smash that like button for us. I think it's possible for us to get to 100 likes on this stream. We are not at 50 yet. We're only about 11 likes away from 50. So if everyone can do us a favor and hit that like button, the math checks out. It's mathematically possible for us to hit 100 likes today. We appreciate y'all. That is our goal, that 100 likes on the stream. We did get a super chat, so let's prioritize that from Brady. Thank you for your donation, Brady. Wandale or Elijah Moore? You know, I've been thinking about Wandale this week and thinking about him having potentially a sneaky big week. Darren Waller is not going to play. Now you have Daniel Jones back, and he's going to be looking for that safety. In PPR leagues, man, I think Wandale has a higher ceiling than Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I would completely agree.
Yeah, where do you stand on that?
I would be going Wandale. As much as I love Elijah Moore, I know Deshaun Watson is coming back this week. I'm in a couple leagues where I have to start Elijah Moore. But yeah, Wandale Robinson has, in my opinion, the safer floor. They're going to try and get the ball rolling here in the air, especially with Daniel Jones. And finally, an offensive line. So Wandale Robinson, Brady. So we appreciate you.
It's close. It is close. V. Rosado is the next one in order. PPR, Henderson, Ingram, or Hunt. Let's start there. Henderson, Ingram, or Hunt. For me, this would actually be Kareem Hunt. Yep, the way you view Jerome Ford is kind of the way I view Hunt. Like, I think they're both fine plays and good, good matchup, and I think they'll get equal work.
I completely agree. I will be going Kareem Hunt, excuse me. So yes. And then Logan Thomas and McBride here. I will be going Logan Thomas.
Yeah. I think you and I have been on opposite sides of this one the whole week, and I can definitely understand Logan Thomas. But with McBride, I know it's a different quarterback. Totally understand that. That guy got 14 targets last week. It's the same coaching staff. It's the same offensive coordinator, and there's still no Zach Ertz. So I think McBride's actually a little bit more important to his offense. Now you can make the case that, hey, Curtis Samuel's out. So both of these are fine plays. But I'm going to lean McBride here. I don't think there's a clear right or wrong answer as they're close in my rankings. We did just get a super chat from Giannis Antetokounmpo. We never say this name right, but we always see you on the stream, and we do really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I wonder if he is from Greece, because that is a pretty cool name.
It's very
Demetrios. It's like a
Greek or like a Lebanese name.
I feel like Demetrios. That just sounds like the leader of like an organization. You know what I mean? Like, damn, you got to talk to Demetrios. Be careful, bro. Anyway. Thank you, Demetrios. Hey, guys, non-PPR, Dallas Goedert or Dalton Kincaid this week?
I will be going Dallas.
So
higher, better, in my opinion, big game, better offense, and he's been involved in the past. So
I don't know, man. I feel like every case you made for Goddard, I can make for Kincaid. Incredible offense, huge game versus the Bengals. It is so close between these two names. It really is so close. They're back-to-back in my rankings. Non-PPR. We got to think about that. I feel as if Dalton Kincaid in a non-PPR league, from the small usage we have seen, I feel like he's used down the field a little bit more than Dallas Goedert. A lot of those Dallas Goedert targets we've seen in the recent weeks, not all of them, just some of them, have come from, on the line of scrimmage. And if you're not getting any benefit of a reception, I'm going to lean Kincaid there. And it is close, but Kincaid, kind of since taking over that role, has had a good amount of yardage through the air, if I'm not mistaken. 75 yards week before and 65 in the last week. I think they're both great plays. If it was PPR, I would go Goddard. And a non-PPR, I think I'll lean Kincaid.
That's fair here. Just to give you a quick thought process here. Dallas Goedert in standard league, averaging 6 points per game. Dalton Kincaid, 4.5. So it's not
I
crazy.
I think that's
gap.
Pretty unfair though, because Kincaid hasn't been the starter until 2
weeks
ago.
I know.
What about week 7 onwards? I bet you Kincaid would be the favorite.
Let's see, week 7 to what is it? We're at week 8. So let's just do week 7. Let's do week 7 to 8, right? Because this is week. Dalton Kincaid 6, Dallas is 9, averaging 10 points per game. Dallas is averaging 8.7 points per game. So, I mean, either way,
that doesn't sound right.
Dalton tight end 6, averaging 10 points per game in the standard from week 7 and 8, and then Dallas Goedert tight end 9, averaging 8.7.
Oh, okay. So Kincaid is ahead in that format.
Is ahead. Yeah.
And look, it's close. You really could make a case either way. At the end of the day, to be honest with you, whichever team is down is likely going to need their tight end a little bit more. So You can make a case for
I
either of
hear
those
you.
guys. Thank you for the
Thanks
super
so
chat,
much.
though. Russian with the donation. Thank you, man. How do you feel about Pop Douglas? I love that you call him
yeah.
Pop because, yeah, let's all agree. It's not Demario Douglas. It's Pop Douglas. It's way more fun to say. He likes it. The team calls him it, and the kid out of Liberty is balling.
Liberty.
New England wide receiver. Would you drop Michael Wilson for him? Ooh, that is tough.
The reason why it's hard to drop Michael Wilson right now.
I love you're gonna say this probably about Kyler Murray. But Kyler Murray's coming back. That really excites me. But Pop Douglas has a chance to be the true number 1 on his team with Bourne out for the year.
Yeah.
I think I lean Pop Douglas there. It's close. If in Dynasty, it's unquestionably Michael Wilson, but
It's no doubt Michael Wilson. My thing is, I think you can, when you think of this offense, you think of Kyler Murray reconnecting with Hollywood Brown, and not that he's not going to include Michael Wilson. Like, how big is that target share going to be where Pop Douglas is taking the number 1 snap shares, right? He's going to be taking that number 1 wide receiver targets. So I agree, Pop Douglas. I personally feel comfortable with kind of a little bit long term, but I can see that in games switching for Michael Wilson.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps. We appreciate you, Russian. Thank you so much for the super chat here. We did get another one from Miguel Merckx.
Miguel.
He said, "What's up, fellas? Should I go with Rashad White or Hubbard at running back, and should I go with Howe or Watson at quarterback?" I think we can both. Speaking for the both of us, I think it will be Rashad White and Sam Howell coming into this week.
It is. I really want to find a way to get Chuba into my lineup if I can help it. But it's just a better matchup, for Rashad, and he's got more consistency. And then with Howell, I mean, he's been balling out. With Watson, the last time you saw him play, it was awful. Now he's probably going to be better than that. He really should have a great week.
I think so as well. Yeah,
it's just too early to trust him.
Yeah, it's way too early. 100%. Let him sit. Let him play. You have Sam Howell. You should be fine with that, Mega. But thank you so much for the super chat here. We got another one. Super chat's rolling in today. Thank you so much, guys.
Coming in hot.
Chris Cross 04. He said Henderson, London, Dobbs for Olave and Sanders. This is a trade question. Henderson, London, Dobbs for Olave and Sanders.
Olave and Sanders, and I'm not really double thinking it. Olave is the best player by far. Henderson, London, Dobbs are startable given matchups. Olave, I know it's not been good, but is getting a ridiculous amount of targets. And Sanders is not startable, but if you're in any sort of format where you're not starting 12 players at a time, then Olave is the best player there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will go Chris Olave as well. Another super chat here from Demetrios. Thank you so much. He says, I am Greek. I'm Greek. He said thoughts on Tyler Boyd. Specifically this week, I can see him maybe in a 14-man or bigger league having some sort of upside. But a 12-man league, I'm not necessarily sure I'm willing, or smaller, that Zach and I are willing to start him coming into this week. Maybe he does get, 3 to 4 targets, and he is one of the person that finds the end zone, but we're not expecting that, right?
Yeah. Now you've also got T. Higgins, who he didn't even play 70% of the snaps last week. He'll be even more healthier this week. It's just not a player I want to rely my week on, but of course he's always that random touchdown scorer at times. So, but thank you for the donation, man. Shots. Everybody, what's up? Rank these for week 9. Chuba, Ford, Gus, and Henderson. Chuba, Ford, Gus, and Henderson. Chuba, Ford, Gus, and Henderson. For me, this would be Chuba. This would be Gus. This would be Ford, and then Henderson.
Gus, Ford, Chuba, Henderson.
Okay.
For me. Thank you so much for the super chat, though.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Football de noche. Doesn't noche mean night?
Yeah. Well, I guess football.
Football at night.
Football at night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Football.
Thank you for the super chat. It's football.
Everton, Liverpool's blue. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you guys win that cup thing or what?
Well, we just found the draw. It's still a quarterfinal, so it hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened.
Do I start Puka or Devonta Smith or Singletary? This would be Devonta Smith for me.
Completely agree. Devonta Smith for me as
100%
well.
we agree there. Steven Drakes with another dono. You guys are going hard on the donations. We appreciate y'all. Giants or Raiders defense? Let's start there. Giants or Raiders defense? Of course, these two teams play each other. This would be the Raiders for me. I don't know where you stand, but you guys just lost Leonard Williams. The other side made a coaching change, and now the people are actually happy in the organization. So... And the Raiders have a good defense. And to me, it's like, who has these playmakers on their defense? No disrespect to you guys, but I know Kayvon Thibodeau's there. Max Crosby's a different level. And he could have a four-sack performance on any day. So it would be Max Crosby and the Raiders for me.
Yeah, for me, it would be the Giants. Maybe it's my bias, but I mean, yeah, we did lose Leonard Williams. Not saying he didn't make an impact, but the people that have been making the impact have been Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, Kayvon Thibodeau top 5 in sacks so far this year, which is amazing. He's kind of breaking out right now. And he says also, do you like Chuba Hubbard or Pop Douglas this week? I think both these guys actually are pretty even when you think about their positional rankings for me, at least for me specifically.
Okay.
I think these guys both can have similar outputs coming into this week. For me, I will be going Chuba, though. I think Chuba is going to be seeing the ball at least, 12-plus times coming into this week against the Colts right now as well.
Yeah, Chuba is one of my favorite starts of the week this week. Pop Douglas, you guys know I do that weekly video, players who will dominate, and I try and give you a flex kind of desperation play. I would still put Pop Douglas in that kind of like desperation play. I would say most people in like a 12-man league have a better option. I like him. I'm willing to start him. He's more exciting if you're playing DFS. I don't think there's a more exciting play in DFS based off the price than Pop Douglas this week. But as far as fantasy goes, I will choose Chuba there. I'm a big Chuba guy this week. Big fan of him this week with his matchup and his opportunities. We did get another donation from TM. Thank you, TM. He says Rachaad White or Pop Douglas. It would be Rachaad White for me.
Rachaad White. Yeah, Rachaad
and you would agree. So that is all the donations for now. Thank you, guys. You are very, very kind. We'll go up to the top, answering questions from top to bottom. Super chats get prioritized. Not obligated to do so. Do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. We are only 29 likes away from 100, which is the goal for today's stream. 100 likes. We appreciate y'all. Donald Smith is the next one in order. Pick one. DJ Moore, T. Higgins, or Chuba.
T.
This would be T for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. T.
Akshay. Go ahead.
It's starting Zay Flowers or Devonta. It's starting Zay Flowers or Devonta Smith. I'm also starting.
Question, but it's phrased as a statement. I think.
It's as a statement. I mean, look. I think I can confidently say we both be starting Devonta Smith over Zay Flowers if I'm correct here.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm confident in the decision. I am making the decision.
Okay. But
they are not very far away in my rankings. Zay Flowers is my wide receiver 14 on the week. Smith is my wide receiver 12. Zay Flowers, he has not been limited by his own play. He's played really well. He's been limited by the matchup that these Ravens have been in. They have not needed Zay Flowers because they have been dominating teams. Remember, last week versus Arizona, they were never down. The week before was versus the Lions. They absolutely dominated the Lions. The week before was in London versus the Titans. They were up against them the entire game. So he's been more limited by the fact that he's not been necessary rather than him not playing well. And now we're finally in a matchup where he plays the Seattle Seahawks, who should keep this a competitive matchup. But I'm still going to go with
Is this the best
Devonta.
corner? Is this the best corner that A.J. Brown goes against this year so far? I think he played against Sauce.
He also played against Emmanuel Forbes. So
Stephon Gilmore there. Okay, anyways.
Don't forget he played against Emmanuel Forbes. So
yeah, I mean the best corner in the league so far.
Could you please put some respect on Emmanuel's name?
Wow, amazing pick here.
You guys, a lot of you guys probably weren't subscribed to the channel yet, but we live streamed the draft last year, and I lost my mind when Washington took Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez. I just love Christian Gonzalez. I didn't understand it. I love you, Emmanuel. I love you, Emmanuel. It's not over. It's too early, okay?
No, you should have seen the year before. Who the hell is Jamin Davis?
Oh, yeah, I was pissed at that.
That's literally
honestly,
what you said.
I don't think it was the right pick. Still today. Start Taysom McBride or Ferguson from Lewis here. This would be a very tough call. And
look, this is what I would say. if there is a week 2 start Taysom, in my opinion, with confidence, it's this week. He's playing the Chicago Bears. You expect this team to be up significantly early, which means that he can somehow score in any way. He can throw a touchdown. He can clearly rush a touchdown, a rush for a touchdown. I think he finds the end zone again this week. Am I confident in starting him?
I'm more concerned to like the opposite reaction. They don't need him, you know. Look, if I need a true smash play, like ridiculous upside, it's Taysom Hill. If I want safety, it's McBride. That's how I play it. So hopefully that is helpful. We did get a couple super chats here. Thank you for your donations, guys. Very kind. Jen Rail. I traded Flowers and Lockett for Cup. Flowers and Lockett for Cup. Here's what I'll say. If you told me that Matthew Stafford is only going to miss 2 games, this is an absolute smash trade. If you told me that Stafford's injury is going to linger and he ends up going on IR for some reason we're not aware of, which, by the way, that is not my expectation. I don't think he will. But if you told me that Stafford's only out 2 games, then you win this trade for sure. However, if there is that scenario in which Matthew Stafford, the injury is more serious, they're not being truthful with us, and he misses 5 games. Let's say you go into your fantasy playoffs in the first week of your fantasy playoffs, and you don't have Matthew Stafford with Cooper Kupp. That's when you're actually going to regret doing a trade like this, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I would agree here, and also depth. You know, what does your depth look like? Because you're doing a 2-for-1 here for Cooper Kupp, so hopefully you have that as well. But thank you so much, Jin Rail. We did get another super chat here from Sam. He said, which 3 wide receivers should I start? Terry, Lockett, Myers, Davis, Douglas, Rice, or Shaheed? I think one for me would definitely be Terry. And the second will also be Tyler Lockett. Now, I think coming into the third one, there are so many ways you can go. You know, every single one of these guys.
So let me just quickly say my piece. This is McLaurin, Lockett, and Rice. I am obsessed with Rashee Rice this week. Brought a hot take on my weekly video, so I'll just quickly say my piece. Fire. I think Rice is going to have my spicy, hot, bold take of the week is that Rashee Rice has a career high in fantasy points this week. It's spicy, it's bold. Doesn't mean that it's absolutely going to happen, but that's my hot take of this week. So I'm going to go McLaurin, Lockett, and Rashee Rice.
No, and that makes sense. I was leaning Rice as well. I was just saying, like, this is all these guys can go either way.
I hear you for sure.
Myers have seen it. Davis has seen it. Douglas is expecting to have a big game. Thank you so much for that super chat there, Sam. Russian with another super chat. Appreciate you. He says, I love to get a piece of KC's offense, and I think there was a reason for them to bring back McCole Harmon should he be picked up.
No. I got to be honest. No.
This is what I would say. If you got an extra roster spot and you are in a 14-man league and you need some depth for some reason, sure. But like I agree, like anything else, there's no point of picking him up.
I wouldn't even play him in a 20-man league. Like, and I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm glad the guy's back. I think he adds a different dynamic to our offense, but he is like the worst version of Gabe Davis. There might be one boom game the rest of the year, and the rest, if you ever try and start him again, it will probably be disappointing for you. But he's improving special teams for us, even though he fumbled the punt last week. But it would be a huge no for me.
Yeah, makes sense here. Bill Dance, he says, thanks for the super chat, by the way. A Love or Baker, start there. I will be going Baker Mayfield.
Okay. It is close.
This week.
You know, Houston's not been bad against quarterbacks in fantasy. Look, this is very, very close for me. I'm going to go Jordan Love here. And that's just because I feel like he's given us more consistency this year. Baker's not been bad. That's not what I'm saying. Like, Baker has been good. Last week he was great versus the Bills. I think that surprised some people. But Jordan Love, I believe, has given you a little bit more consistency this far into the season. They both had their bye weeks. Jordan Love is a quarterback 13. Baker's a quarterback 18. So it would be Love for me, but it's very close.
No, makes sense. In the second part of that question, he says pick 2, Addison Moore, Douglas. Which Moore is this, Bill?
Right. Is that Elijah or DJ, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's DJ Moore, I will be going DJ Moore, and I want to start DJ Moore. Oh, yeah, I'm starting DJ Moore, and this is where it's tough. Like, I want to go Addison here, but I just can't trust him with Jaren Hall.
It would be Addison and Moore for me.
Yeah.
Again, I still like Douglas, but Addison's kind of a desperation play without the quarterback situation. Excuse me, but
yeah, exactly. It's
would
really
still be
tough.
Addison and Moore for me.
Yeah, it's really, really tough there for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the super chat, guys.
Those are all the super chats so far. We'll go up at the top from top to bottom here. Akshay, start 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Cup Thielen. You got to start Thielen. Thielen is actually the one guy I'm like, you absolutely start there. So it would be Thielen, Garrett Wilson for me, and at flex, Pittman.
Probably Michael Pittman. Yeah, Michael
Right.
Pittman. The wide receivers there. Yeah, absolutely. Thielen, Pittman, Garrett Wilson there. Tay, start 2 running backs, Aaron Jones, Kareem Hunt, and Gus Edwards. For me, this would be Kareem Hunt and Edwards. And I know Aaron Jones, good running back, but I think I need to see it first and when he comes back here. I don't want to make that mistake again this week, especially crucial weeks now. You have to win.
I am fully prepared to make the mistake, and I just like coach speak. I like what the coach is saying about Aaron Jones over there, and he's the most talented player of these 3 by far. He's just not been let loose since week 1. So if they're saying it, I'm going to trust them. Aaron Jones and Gus Edwards for me there. We do have some super chats, so let's get to those straight away. Jen Rail, Singletary or Douglas for the flex this week?
This is where I'll go Mario Douglas.
That is tough.
I'm going to Mario Douglas with confidence here.
I do not have the same confidence because I know it's a bad matchup for Devon Singletary, but I feel, let's say, 80% confident that he'll touch the ball 14 times at least. With Pop Douglas, he absolutely could get targeted 7, 8, 9, 10 times, but I believe his career high is 7 targets. Right, is it 8?
8 or 7.
7 targets.
7 or 8.
7 targets last week. It's a fantastic matchup, though. It is a fantastic matchup. Now, keep in mind, they were behind Miami last week, and he still only got 7.9 points, and he played 77% of the snaps. So it's a better matchup, but the game script won't be that different, potentially. I think the safe play is Singletary because of the amount of times we know he will touch the ball. Also, I know the Bucs are a fantastic defense, but if either of these guys are more likely to score a touchdown, to me, that is Devon Singletary. So it'll be Singletary for me, but it is close. It is close.
I hear you.
Tim Brooks. This is Garth's son. We make the joke every time. No one laughs. My dogs. Start one. Puka, Rasheed Rice, Downs, or
rest in peace,
Douglas.
DMX.
Yeah. Start one there. Puka, Downs, Rice, and Douglas.
For me, this will be Puka if Matthew Stafford plays. Sure. And if he doesn't play, I feel confident in Richie Rich.
Well, let's just say that across the board. If Matthew Stafford plays, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua become must starts again in all formats.
100%.
But assuming that he doesn't play, it would be Rasheed Rice for me here.
Yeah.
Big fan of Rasheed Rice in that matchup. All right. We're going top to bottom here. Donald Smith is the next question. Vikings, Falcons, or Raiders defense? I'm more excited about the Falcons defense than any of these names this week.
Agreed.
They get to face the rookie late round pick Jaren Hall.
Oh boy.
So yeah.
Good luck there, Jaren. We appreciate you. I'm going to the Falcons as well. If the Falcons are available, pick them up, start them with confidence. At least for me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do that. Andrea says, "Hi everyone. Need 2 running backs: Pacheco, Bijan Robinson, Pacheco, Mostert, Ramondre Stevenson." I think we can both say I'm going Bijan Robinson.
Mm-hmm. The next
for
one
sure.
is what's tough.
The next one is what's tough. This week I brought, with no context whatsoever, to start Jet McKinnon because I just have a feeling. This feels like and once again, no context whatsoever. I didn't say I brought him. I'm saying I wanted to bring him so bad because I can just see this game going to be like, yo, you got speed on your team? Nah. We got Jet on the team, you know? And I'm not saying I'm not going to start Pacheco because of that. I'm just saying, little side note, little ad lib
Okay.
there.
Well, I would not start Jet McKinnon, but I love the feeling from you. Look, I just think Pacheco is taking over that backfield. He's taking over that backfield. He is the dominant guy. I mean, he's averaging over 17 touches per game, and they're using him in the air. That's where all the value came for Jet McKinnon last year. So this would be Pacheco for me and Bijan, but you're going to be watching this matchup, and it's going to really frustrate you because Mostert or Pacheco could be the one going off, and you might have made the wrong decision. But going into this matchup, it would be Bijan and Pacheco for me.
And once again, I'm not saying I'm not going to start Pacheco. It was just more of a feeling, and I think we've seen the struggles with Mostert in the past couple of weeks, and against Philly where he was a high scoring game where you kind of hope he gets utilized. That wasn't the case.
Sure.
New England, he struggled. So yeah, I would be going Isaiah Pacheco. I think my worry is that this game gets out of hand and maybe they abandon the run game just a little bit, just like we saw last week against the Denver Broncos. The game got out of hands. You didn't see him get the utilized in the ground so much, but he did get those targets.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that's why Pacheco becomes almost matchup proof. I know he had 6 points last week, but that's been rare this year because he is used in the air, which he wasn't really used last year. I mean, he's already well double or tripled his targets from last year.
Yeah,
altogether.
I hear you. Just a little thought process there that I wanted to bring.
Yeah.
We did get another super chat here from
just quickly, Rice or down? Sorry, I accidentally clicked on the question. Be Rice for me.
Rice, yeah. Rice.
Go ahead. Sorry, on the next super chat.
He says, any news on Justin Jefferson or should I trade? I think we have a lot of things has changed, but with Josh Dobbs, I think we both feel confident that he can still produce fantasy relevant wide receivers. We saw that in Hollywood and with the Cardinals. Now the question is, what is the price that you're trading for, that you have to give up to acquire Justin Jefferson, and what is your record? Are you 7-1 or whatever, the undefeated? If you're above 500, I think it would be a little bit more interesting to trade for Justin Jefferson. But I don't think I am sending. I don't think I'm blowing up my team to get Jefferson because I think he can.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
This year.
I think in Dynasty you don't move Jefferson at all. I think we agree there. Like Jefferson's no, I'm not selling him low in Dynasty. There's no reason to. But in redraft, there are now multiple names I'd rather have than Jefferson, if I can get a deal done. I mean, obviously, Tyreek Hill, of course, but even Chase, Diggs, AJ Brown. I think I would extend that list to a CeeDee Lamb, and a Keenan Allen. So it's close. I don't believe that Jefferson is going to be bad. I just don't think he has the number one wide receiver upside anymore with Dobbs throwing him the ball. It's just not going to be the same as Kirk Cousins. It just won't. So for me, it is close, but it depends on those names. Those names. If you can trade for them, great. Let's get it done. Otherwise, chill and let's win with him. He'll probably still, like, from the time he's back, he's probably a top 12 wide receiver rest of the year. But he's not top 3, and that's what you want, and that's what the name brings. So,
yeah, exactly. But thank you so much for that super chat there, Jin. We're going to the next super chat here, Cole Walker. Thank you so much for that. He says full PPR, start 3, flex spots, Kareem Hunt, James Cook. All right, keep in mind of Josh Downs' knee injury. Thanks so much. So start 3 at the flex. Here for me, it would be Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, and for me, this would be James Cook.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I do think you start James Cook, but I don't think any of us would be surprised if Lenny plays a role that's really detrimental to James Cook. Now, maybe he doesn't even play, right? But this week, I would agree. Let's continue to go with James Cook. It's a good matchup. So Wilson, Flowers, James Cook for me as well. We are on the same page there.
Yeah.
Okay, answering as many questions as we can from top to bottom. Update on our like goal. We are 6 likes away from 100. You guys are absolutely awesome. Definitely appreciate the support today, the love, the subs, the donations. We're going to answer as many questions as we can. Y'all know that. T. Zinch, Chuba or Stevenson in the flex this week? This would be Chuba for me.
This would be Stevenson for me.
Okay, yeah. Andrea says need one. Devonta Smith, Higgins. So let's start there. Devonta Smith or Higgins?
I'm going Devonta Smith. What I would say that it says I'm starting Chase and Rice. I would personally be starting Chase, Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, but I get you.
I agree there as well. I love Rice this week, but that depends on your options. I'm still going to start a Smith, a Higgins, and a Chase over him. Keaton says picked up Dobbs and Kyler in 2 separate leagues. Hopefully they can perform. I love that. Well done. LZ, I think, non-PPR flex 1. PPR flex start 1. Madison, Puka, Downs, or Kincaid.
Obviously Puka, and then for me, I think this will be Downs. Yes, it will be Downs for me if Matthew Stafford doesn't play.
So Puka if Stafford plays, otherwise Downs. I would agree there. We did get a super chat from Houdini Weenie Yellow Polka Dot Bikini.
Talk it up.
Thank you for the donation. PPR need 1 wide receiver in a flex.
Okay.
So the wide receiver for me here would probably be Higgins.
Yes.
Is Jones Aaron Jones?
I would assume.
If that's Aaron Jones, then Aaron Jones. Keep in mind, guys, DeMarcado will not play. He is out. So if the question is 1 wide receiver, 1 flex, and that is Aaron Jones, it would be Higgins and Aaron Jones for me.
Agreed. I would go with that as well.
And then he says,
Jones over
need a streamer, Bryce, Mac Jones, Deshaun, Geno. This would be Deshaun Watson for me.
Yeah, it would be Deshaun Watson as well.
Fun. It's not fun to say.
Close your eyes. Have a prayer. We'll wait and see what happens. Thank you so much, Houdini, Winnie, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Back to the top. We're going in order from top to bottom. Drop a super chat if you like to kind of skip the line.
Yeah,
if you wish.
Yeah, it's like you go to Disney and you got the what do we call
the fast pass?
Yeah, the fast pass.
Yeah, you got the fast pass.
I went to Disneyland back in July of this year. Had the fast pass the entire time, just watching all the. You go past them in the line and be like,
bunch of losers. No, you guys aren't losers.
Peasants.
The people on the line are losers, but not you guys. You guys are great.
No, absolutely not. No. But you better believe, if I'm going to Space Mountain, I'm skipping all of you. Anyway.
PJ on the top here, he says start Rice, Watson, or Dawson in the flex. This will be Rice for me.
Agreed. This would be Rice for me as well. Mac Jones or Gardner Minshew. I'm rocking with Gardner.
Agreed.
It's a great matchup for Mac, but then you'd also have to start Mac Jones. That's the problem with that. Vasilla, what's up? Drag racing. Love that.
Here we go.
Hubbard, DJ Moore, or Pop Douglas. This is Hubbard for me.
Yeah, this is Hubbard. I don't know. I think I might be leaning Pop now. I mean, I'm thinking about it.
You don't Pop over DJ?
I'm thinking Hubbard. I'm just saying Pop and Hubbard in general, like back to back. I think I answered that question earlier.
Right, but I think you said you'd start DJ Moore over Pop earlier, no?
Yes, I would, but I was thinking about Pop and Hubbard just alone.
Oh, okay.
Without DJ Moore, I was like, I think I might go Pop Douglas over Hubbard, but I am going DJ Moore over Pop. If that makes any sense.
So DJ Moore's your answer then?
Yes, DJ Moore would be my answer.
AJ, hi guys. Should I start Higgins or Singletary? Higgins for us. Zay or Devonta Smith? This would be Devonta Smith, but it is close. Josh Allen or Tua? You got to go Josh Allen, but both are great options. Zay Flowers, we already answered that. Come on, brother.
Pick 2.
Dark Star says pick 2. James Cook, Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard, Devon Singletary. This would be James Cook and Chuba Hubbard for me.
James Cook and Jerome Ford.
Okay. We got a super chat from Lynn Ray Gandy. What is up, Lynn Ray?
Appreciate you, brother.
It says it's their first super chat on the stream. Thank you.
We appreciate
Josh Allen or Dak? This would be Josh Allen for me. Although I do like Dak. He's my favorite streamer this week.
Yeah, I am going Josh Allen as well. But Eagles currently gave up the 4th most points to the quarterback position, which is really appealing. Sam Howell, QB1 this past week? Talk it up.
Yeah, and Dak Prescott in the last, since 2020 actually, he has not scored under 30 points against the Eagles in those games. But still, you can't sit Josh Allen in my opinion.
Yep, I hear you.
Crisscross applesauce back with another super chat. Thank you. PPR Sanders or Ingram? If that's Miles Sanders, then we'll definitely go Ingram here. Sounds like you're in a tough spot. I hear you. But Sanders, they've already come out and said that Chuba's the starter.
We wasted money, essentially.
That's basically what they're telling us. But
yep.
I think Chuba will get more than 2 touches per game, which is what he got last week. However,
Miles.
Yeah, my bad, Miles. But however, right. Ingram looks set to start for that team. We don't have any clear information, but he looks set to start. So,
yeah, I would agree. I'll back you there.
Cameron with the next donation here. Thank you, man. Pick 2: Olave, Pittman, Nico, Devonta Smith, and Zay Flowers. Oh my gosh.
Olave and Devonta Smith for me.
Yeah, I mean, I am not lying to you, Cameron. Olave, Pittman, Nico. Okay, so let's take Nico out of it, even though he could have the best week of these guys, right? But let's take him out. Mm-hmm. All those other names, Olave, Pittman, Smith, and Flowers, they are all in the same exact tier, and they are all within 6 spots of each other. So, very difficult question to answer. However, if it was me, I would start Olave, and I would start Devonta Smith. But that's very, very difficult.
Agreed. Completely agreed. Do we have another one here? No, we do not.
No.
Back to the top here, guys.
Armando.
Once again, appreciate all those super chats. Armando. Mm-hmm. He said, Justice Hill, Roscoe, Zeke. Okay, what's the question? For RB2, hurting at running back. So you need to start one of these guys here.
Close your eyes, man, and just pray to whoever you believe in. Because there's no clear answer. It would be Keontae Ingram for me, just based on the fact that I believe he leads his backfield this week. And I don't believe any of those other guys do. Now, if a report comes out, guys, that Keontae Ingram is not actually maybe it's Tony Jones Jr. Report comes out, Tony Jones gets to start, then you pivot. And if you pivot here, my pivot option is probably Zach Charbonnet. But
I'm leaning more towards
this is not a fun answer.
Yeah, for me, like when I think of these questions, I'm leaning more towards like, okay, who has the safer floor here? Out of all these guys, I feel like Justice Hill has a safer floor.
That's true. That's fair.
Which sounds crazy and is not exciting or sexy whatsoever.
Is it PPR? If it's PPR, I agree. If it's not, then that changes things. But
yeah, I hear you. So hopefully that helps, Armando. Thank you so much. There, Rod.
My name's Rod, and I like to party.
Rod, I like to party. PPR start 1. Terry, Addison, Jacoby. I think we both go Terry here.
Yes.
We answer this one. Tony G, what's up, guys? Got Laporte on the bye week. Should I start Taysom Hill or Komet? Thanks. I mean, Bigo Baguette gave us the Ookie Dukes.
I know.
He goes, hey, Cole, I don't know who you are. And then he goes, hey, Cole, you're my best friend the next week.
Literally. 0 points and then an incredible week the next week.
An incredible week.
It's Taysom for me.
It's Taysom Hill for me as well. Bay Niner, excuse me. Half point PPR, Pacheco or Gus for the flex.
Oh my God, that just clicked.
Yeah, right?
Is that
Bay Niner?
I always read it as Bayerner. But Bay Niner? That would make sense, like Niners Bay area. Anyway.
Yeah. I think that's how I would think so. I would read it. Pacheco or Gus. Let's start there. Pacheco or Gus.
Pacheco.
Here, I will be going Pacheco.
Yep.
Gus is very close. And then Nico or T will be T Higgins for the both of us.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Do I start Henderson or Amari Cooper at the flex? Would be Amari Cooper for the both of us?
Yes, hopefully for Amari Cooper's sake.
Deshaun
Watson's shoulder is actually 70% of what it used to be.
Apparently, the difference this time is that he actually has velocity on the ball, which I don't know why they started him last week if he didn't have.
See, there was this clip circulating around Twitter where someone took a video of him in practice, and they were like, "Oh, he's got his zip back," and I was watching. I was like, "Does he though? Are you sure?" And then the first comment was, "Is the zip in the room with us right now?" So I have no idea how Deshaun Watson's going to play, but he has an incredible matchup. He has great weapons, and if he is healthy, he has great upside. And Amari Cooper's a big part of that. Austin says, you guys look tired. I'm not sure if that's like a. Are
I
you
mean,
okay or you guys look
I'll be
awful.
honest. I'm exhausted.
Oh yeah, I'm tired.
Um,
All we do is
I am.
work, guys. That's literally all we do with our lives. 60 to 80 hours a week, we try and build what we're doing here. But
Mhm.
I am tired. I'm not gonna lie to you. So
But we're grinding it out, you know.
we're doing our
For
best.
you, Austin. So
We're
what should we
also
just start?
while we're putting out all the content here, by the way, we are also scouting the 2024 NFL draft running backs, so we
Yeah.
can make content on our Dynasty channel next week, hopefully. So we love what we do, but it's also mostly all we do. So that's why we're tired.
So subscribe. Make sure you like. Do whatever you can to support what we're doing here,
Yeah.
but no pressure. Austin said, which two should I start? Ford, Stevenson, Cook. For me, this would be Cook. And Ford and Stevenson are actually really close in my rankings. I am going Ramondre Stevenson, though.
Yeah, all these guys are in the same tier for me. But I would agree with exactly what you have said there. We did get some super chats. Let's make sure we prioritize those. First one's from Cameron. Thank you, Cameron. Pick 2, Moss, Gus, Hendo, and Stevenson. This for me would be Gus and Stevenson.
Agreed. Right there.
I would be more confident in Moss, but you know it's not that you can't play him. He's just
this is
struggling with an injury.
This is Jonathan Taylor week. This is like, hey guys, I'm back. I don't know if you know, but like
I'm back.
I'm the highest paid running back in the NFL. I don't know if you know that.
Shots with the donation.
Shots.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rice or Gus at flex. This would be
You need a
very
W
close.
bat, so this is a must-win game.
I think Gus has the better floor, but Rice has the higher ceiling this week.
I would agree there. Gus does have the better floor. So I guess the biggest thing for you is, do you want the crazy high ceiling where somebody can get you 2 points? Or you hope that Gus just gets you 8, hopefully to 15 points?
You know, the other tough part about this is, some people will watch the Germany game, some people won't. But if you decide to start Rice, and I'm wrong on him this week, if I'm wrong, which I don't have a crystal ball, right? I could be wrong. And he tanks for you, you're like, oh, so sad heading into the afternoon slate or the 1 p.m. slate.
Yeah.
But if it were me, I like to have fun, and my emotions are always in my teams. I make decisions, and I'm either elated, I'm like, I am the smartest person in the world, or I'm like, I am such an idiot. I am such an idiot. This is one of those decisions. Rashee Rice for me would be my answer.
I hear you.
Especially in a PPR league.
Yeah, in a PPR league, it's Richie Rich here, but I think Shotzi needs to ask yourself that question.
Yeah.
Once again,
Look at yourself in the mirror when
do
you
you
ask
need?
that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, have a little chat with your team. Our friend all back in the day used to message Julio Jones and say, "Hey, do your thing," and he did.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
Sam Green.
don't ever message hate though to any players, which we all agree. Dr. Gibbs, what kind of doctor are you, Dr. Gibbs? I would like to know. Thank you for your donation. Full PPR pick 1: T. Higgins, Aaron Jones, Nico Collins. T. Higgins for me.
Yep.
Love that.
Completely agree.
Brandon Simpson, thank you for your donation, man. Over there
Appreciate
in Canada, eh?
Canada.
How about the Canucks? I don't even know
The
where
what?
they are. My bad.
The
It's a
Canucks.
hockey team. Godwin, Addison, Garrett Wilson, Pacheco, Cup. Start 2. That is
Garrett
really
Wilson.
tough, but this would be Garrett Wilson and Pacheco for me.
I'm coming around to Godwin.
Yep.
And I think this is a great week for Chris Godwin because you expect Mike Williams to get shut down.
Do we?
Because at least I hope so.
I just overall don't like Houston. Looks like a good matchup, but it's not always been a good matchup for wide receivers.
No, exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And I think like when you think of who's the number 1 there, you think of Mike Evans. I think that's why Chris Godwin can have a really good week this week. I'm going Garrett Wilson and Chris Godwin, and once again, he's been picking up.
Okay.
I mean, since I wonder if I can later on weeks 4. I'll do a little research here as we continue with the stats.
Yeah, but it would be Pacheco and Wilson for me. Badaki is going Wilson and Godwin, and I think if it's half PPR, Badaki probably would be tempted to go Pacheco there, but in full PPR, he would go Godwin. That is all the donations for now. Thomas is the next one in order. Full PPR: Mike Evans, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, or DJ Moore. And, we just got done talking about Mike Evans, but I would still start Mike Evans personally of these options.
Agreed. Completely agree. I would as well.
Dimma Ferry says, pick 3 out of my running backs to start. Kamara. Well, you got to start Kamara. Absolutely. Pollard, Swift, Hall. So this would be Kamara, Swift, and Hall for me.
Kamara, Swift, Hall. Yep, I'm right there with you.
Should I start Adams or Amari Cooper? This would be Adams for me. And, Amari Cooper should be great this week. But this feels like an Adams, 40-point week for me.
No, it won't mean Deontay Banks. No way. No way.
Sure, yeah. Well, look, I'm not going to guarantee that. I'll say this. It feels there's a 0% chance in my mind that Adams doesn't get 10 targets.
Yes, completely agree.
Yeah,
I completely agree there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm right there with you. Thomas, full PPR, Mike, we answered that one already. Gorilla, pick 2. Pacheco, Ford, Bijan, Mixon. Thanks, fellas. You start Bijan, and I will be going Pacheco. Oh. Let me just double check.
Yeah, Pacheco and Mixon are very close. It's Pacheco for me, but it is very close.
Yeah, it is very close. It is
Bijan
very
and
close. I do have
Pacheco
Pacheco one spot. Actually, sorry, I have Mixon one spot, so I'm going Mixon.
Okay.
I like the matchup with Mixon versus the Bills.
We're in agreement
Pacheco.
on Bijan there, but yeah, on Pacheco he's Mixon. So.
Next one here says Bijan, Thielen, Golf for my CMC. Have Howell at quarterback. So Bijan, Thielen, and Golf for my CMC.
I mean, look, overall, I don't want to trade Christian McCaffrey under any circumstance. So I would probably say no to this deal. The caveat here is if you're in a league where you got 2 running backs and 3 flex spots and 3 wide receivers, and Thielen is just a huge upgrade over what you currently have. But if you're in one of those leagues that are pretty standard where it's 2 wide receivers, 1 flex spot, I just don't want to trade CMC under almost any circumstance ever.
Yeah, I would agree there. I would agree there.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want to linger too much on it. Gonna have a whole conversation on that. But yes, completely agree. I just think that if Thielen's somebody else, I might be interested. If Thielen is a Puka, if Thielen is a CD, if Thielen is a Monra, maybe that's too much to ask. Take Jared Goff out. I'm doing that. I might be doing that trade.
Okay.
If I need that depth or if I need that wide receiver. Hopefully that helps.
Kung Fu Kenny, what's up, guys? 12-man league, need to flex 2. I have Singletary, Pop, Tank, Zach Moss. For me, this would be where Pop Douglas is actually in contention. It would be Singletary and I believe Pop for me. Let me double check though. Do you have a strong
it would be Pop. I think it would be the wide receivers, Pop and Tank. Brought Tank and Pop both as high upside plays coming into this week.
Okay.
I see Singletary. I just think it's a tougher matchup than Bucks are.
Oh, it's an awful matchup, but there's volume.
Yeah, I understand. So hopefully that helps there. Kung Fu Cats. Addy said, do y'all prefer DK or Higgins this week in PPR? I think for me, I will be going to Higgins.
Same.
I'm not sure where Zach goes. Okay, so I was leaning Higgins because of his matchup. Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much.
I'll just say it as well. Metcalf's been really, really bad this year for where you drafted him. I think I saw something recently that Metcalf hasn't finished in the top 20 amongst wide receivers in a single week this year. Any week? Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw that recently. But we know how good Metcalf is, so he probably is much better rest of the year compared to what he's been at the beginning.
Yeah.
Austin Johnson, Stone Cold Steve Austin Johnson. Hey boys, need 1 running back and 1 flex. Hubbard, Ford, Henderson, Mike Thomas. This would be Hubbard, and then we'll go Ford for me.
So I'm going Ford and Rice. Need a running back in a flex.
Oh, yeah, Rice is an option? I didn't see Rice there, my bad.
No, you're fine. I'm going Ford and Rice too.
This would be Hubbard and Rice for me.
Okay, that's fair. Max, a subscriber. Hey guys, Moss or Singletary?
Singletary for me. I don't like the matchup, but volume.
I hear you. This
Actually,
is close.
let me
These
let me correct an error there. That is Zach Moss. I'm sorry.
these guys are back to back for me, and Zach Moss is higher. Um, yeah.
You know, while Jonathan Tate is leading that backfield, Zach Moss is still getting a good amount of touches, and he's looked good, and it's an incredible matchup. So that's my bad. There is a line for Devon Singletary, and I will go Moss.
No worries. HQ, I'm taking the risk of starting Deshaun Watson this week. Pick 3, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Waddle's locked in. Puka, Cooper, Higgins, Godwin. Higgins, Godwin, Cooper.
Yeah.
Agreed. And Puka, and if Puka, Matthew Stafford, you start him. I'm starting Puka over Chris Godwin if he starts.
Do I start Jacoby or Goddard in the flex? This would be Goddard for me.
Goddard.
Mark Hanna says, I traded Swift, Kittle for Keenan. Swift and Kittle for Keenan. I have CD, Diggs, Keenan, Derrick Henry, Pollard, and Josh Allen. Was the trade I did good or bad? My tight end is also Kincaid. That was going to be my first question. Who's your other tight end? And honestly, I think this is a pretty even deal. I would say this is a pretty even deal. Your running backs, though, you now have Derrick Henry and Pollard. I do believe that Pollard is going to turn things around. I do believe Pollard's going to have a better rest of the year than what he's had so far. However, I do feel more comfortable with Swift. So you have at some point hurt your running back depth a little bit. But those wide receivers could carry you for sure. And you didn't need Kittle if you had Kincaid. So.
Yeah, I get you. With the whole, I think with Will Levis and how he's kind of making this offense kind of explode. I know Derrick Henry is still not getting the crazy opportunities we hope for. He just has been the guy in the past couple weeks. So I think he's kind of getting those upticks, oddly enough, in fantasy points, not in the actual snap percentages. And I'm starting to come around with Derrick Henry, and I'm loving it.
Okay.
Currently RB5. We'll wait and see how that goes for the rest of the week. But just wanted to put that out there.
What do you think about the trade, though?
Yes, I do like it. I don't mind the trade.
Okay.
But I will say this is that I am not crazy concerned about Derrick Henry as I was in the beginning half of the season if this trend continues.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to say essentially.
Okay.
Mike.
Sit 1. Mixon, Mostert, or Pacheco. This would be Mixon for me.
Man, how can you sit these guys?
Yeah, I don't think we want to sit any of them. But.
This is what I would say. I don't think Mostert is going to have a good game this week. And the Chiefs are really good against the run. And the Dolphins, I think you can see Mostert kind of struggling in this offense just a little bit. And you can see him just not getting utilized the way we hopes for. So at the moment, it's crazy because I do have Mostert ahead of Mixon. But this week, I've been feeling I have this in one of my leagues, and I want to start Mixon over Mostert. I'm just putting that out there, Mike. Okay. I'm not saying I have that. I'm just being transparent. I do have Mostert over, but I just don't like the way he's been utilized the past 2 games.
Start Hunt or Hubbard. This would be Hubbard for me.
Hunt for me.
Yes, sir. Says start 2 PPR. Chuba, Hendo, Ford, and B-Rob. This would be Chuba and Ford for me.
Yeah, this would be Chuba and Ford for me as well.
B3 solo. Need a flex. Singletary, Rashid, Zay, Jason. This would be Zay for me.
Yes.
Tank Dell or Pop Douglas. Back-to-back in my rankings. Very tough call. I'm going Pop, but it's very close. Yeah.
I'm going Pop as well.
James Cook or Kareem Hunt. James Cook.
Cook.
We buy homes near you. Let's do it. What's going on, fellas? I'm in a 6-team league. Oh, Lord. I know this is going to be a tough question if it's a 6-team league. Pick 1 wide receiver, 2 to start this week. So we're picking 1 wide receiver. This week, based on matchup and a high touchdown upside. Collins, Higgins, Flowers, Godwin, Davis, Rice. Man, impossible to choose between these, but it would be Higgins for me. Actually, sorry, it would be Flowers. My bad. It would be Flowers for me.
This one will be Higgins for me.
Okay.
It'd be Higgins.
Yeah, I talked about Flowers earlier during the stream. Hopefully you were with us when I discussed him. But tough call. Flex, Evans or Thielen? I've got to rock with Thielen still.
Agreed.
Love the channel. Appreciate you, man. Flowers or Downs? I'm going
Thank
Flowers.
I'm going Flowers as well.
Would you trade Henderson? Oh, we answered this one in the super chat.
Yeah.
Rashad White or Damari Douglas? Rashad White.
Chat as well.
Let's see. Choose two, BT says. Godwin, Scary Terry, Jason. This would be Godwin and Scary Terry for me.
Agreed.
Amari Cooper or Ken Walker in the flex?
I'm going Ken.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ken Walker as well. What I will say is if you own Ken Walker, hearing Pete Carroll talk about Zach Charbonnet this week has got to be a little unsettling. I'm not saying it's a trend. I'm just saying it's got to be a little bit unsettling if that's the case.
Yeah.
No. So let's hope for his sake that he still has the same role, which I don't think he won't. I'm just saying it's something that you should monitor. Did we answer James Barron's question? I don't think we did. I skipped over it. 12 team, full PPR, super flex with half receiving first downs. Half point for that. Start two between Pollard and Moss, Ford, Henderson. I'll start Pollard there. And Olave or Wilson. I'll start Olave, but very close between those two names. But yeah, Pollard and Olave for me.
So, yeah.
Would you agree? Or? Yeah.
Agreed.
Chris, what's it? Half PPR, start three. Lockett, Amari Cooper, Nakua, Wandell, KJ. Lockett and Amari Cooper for sure. And then there's...
I think I'm starting Puka regardless.
Yeah, I'll start Puka there. Like I said, I like Wandell, but I'll start Puka. Yep. Royce or Darrell, we talked about this a lot earlier in the stream. Hopefully you were listening, but we'll go Darrell. It's close. Rasheed Rice or Downs, I'm going Rasheed Rice.
Yep.
Slatin says, do y'all think my Hawks can beat the Ravens? Do you think Seattle is slept on? I mean, you might not have been subscribed at this time, but we did our Super Bowl predictions at the beginning of the year. And my Super Bowl prediction was, it was Chiefs 49ers. But I had the Seahawks going to the NFC Championship. So, I do think they're slept on a little bit. They don't have enough respect on their name in the media, for sure. But I definitely think I don't view this Ravens Seahawks game as the Ravens are automatically going to win this. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, I think so as well. This is a high scoring game. This is one of the favorite, first matchups or first slate of game matchups coming into this week. So keep that in mind as well. Looks like Daniel PPR double flex league. Need one Shakir Quinton Mingo.
I'm going Johnston.
Yeah, I'm going Johnson as well. It looks like Josh Palmer's not going to play. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so come on, Quinton. It's a tough matchup for Quinton to do something as well.
If he can't do anything here, I will be disappointed. I want him to succeed.
I would say that this is the toughest matchup for him to succeed.
I'm
Jets
not buying
give up the least amount of points.
You're a first-round wide receiver.
Agreed. I would say that as well.
You have no one ahead of you anymore, except for Keenan, who plays a different role. You have to show us something now.
It also depends on if he gets the work.
Sure.
He can't do nothing without the work. But if he gets, 8 targets and he only catches 2 of them, and a lot of the majority is his fault, then yeah, that's a concern.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see what happens here. DJ Moore, Nico Collins. This would be Nico for me.
Yeah, I really do like Nico this week, and they're back to back in my rankings. And I am gonna go Nico there with you.
And then the second part is that Pollard or James Cook.
Pollard for me. I know it's not been good, and I know the matchup is awful, but that's just not how these NFC divisional rival games go. That just doesn't typically work out. And I think they're gonna need him through the air as well. So I'm gonna go Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I do have Pollard over James Cook. I just don't love the matchup. So
neither, no.
Patrick Mahomes, hey guys, need a flex JSN or Romeo Dubs. I'm going Romeo, still getting the touchdowns.
I'm going JSN. I just think we'll see more points from Baltimore, Seattle than Green Bay a lot with the Rams. Brett Rippon starting, so it's close.
I get you. Joseph said full PPR need one to start. Charbonnet or Zach Moss. I think we will go Zach Moss this week.
Agreed.
over Charbonnet. Jared McKinnon or Royce Freeman. I missed out on Jaron Warren on Thursday. Thanks, fellas. I don't know if you heard my little rant earlier with no context to back it. I just have a feeling about Jet McKinnon this week. No way you can probably start him with confidence. But Royce Freeman clearly has a safer floor, so I'm going Royce.
So
just to let you know, I got a
typically need to eat gluten-free, and sometimes I have a feeling, you know what? I could eat this pizza that's gluten. And doesn't end up going well typically.
It doesn't end up going well. That's the kind of feeling
I feel like we're sitting on here. Look, it'll be Freeman for me.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm going to start Jet over Freeman. I'm just saying I have a feeling.
Yeah, sometimes those feelings let us down, but
sometimes they do. Sometimes it's like, holy shit, I believe it. Flex 1, Downs, Thomas, Brian, Gus. This one would be. Let me just double check between Downs and Gus.
Yeah, that's where I'm stuck too. Downs is dealing with an injury.
This is full PPR. I'm going Downs here because I think since the Seahawks can score, I can see them not abandoning the run game, but not having the same amount of opportunities he will have on the ground that he saw the past 2 weeks.
I do think Downs is the safer play. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a tough one. Flex DJ Moore, Ramondre. Man, that's not a fun one to answer at all.
Yeah, it's not. And I think they both have similar floors, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know,
I would be shocked if either of these guys are like top 5 at the position this week. It would be DJ for me, but I don't like it. If you're half PPR, I'll go Ramondre. If you're full PPR, I'll go DJ.
Yeah, I'll rock that with you there.
Johnny Dunn, T Boyd, Dawson, Cooks, full PPR. This would be Dawson for me. Second flex spot, Evan Ingram on bye.
Agreed.
I have Boyd in now. Yeah, I definitely get the reason for a Boyd. It should be a huge matchup. I'm not saying that he won't score a touchdown because he could. Like, it's a huge matchup. Random things happen, but I think with Higgins back, he's now the 4th option in that offense behind Chase, Higgins, and Mixon as far as like opportunities. So whereas Dawson, there's no Curtis Samuel at the moment. Also in full PPR, you have Goddard over Kincaid. Yes, in full PPR, I have Goddard over Kincaid, but in standard, I would go Kincaid. Zen says half PPR, pick 2, Dawson, DHJ, or Jerome Ford. DHJ being Darrell Henderson Jr., maybe?
Yeah, I'm going Jerome. And I'm going Jerome and Jahan.
I'll go Jerome and Jahan as well. Looks like looking to the chat for help. Eric says, 1 keeper from the question above, desperate because I lost Kirk and A-Rich. Well, if you're trying to compete, right, so no to Carr and Murray trades, just ride with Dobbs and Heineke. Like, overall, like we said, we don't really love that trade, but I think when you told us that it was a keeper league, we said we were fine with the Jacoby for Kyler Murray trade.
Yeah, exactly.
But also keep in mind that A-Rich should be fine next year. PJ, start Rice, Dawson, or Watson. I think we've answered one similar to this, but Rice would be the answer. I could be wrong. Yeah, Rice. Yezer says, I tried trading Pollard, Thielen, and Deontay Johnson for CMC, and it still got turned down, and rightfully so. Yeah, makes sense.
It makes sense.
Dallas or stream the Saints and Falcons. You know, I always say this with a defense like Dallas. I don't care what their matchup is. I'm playing them. They got playmakers all over the field. They make a lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks. So Dallas for me.
Agreed.
Raiders or Vikings?
Raiders.
Yeah, I think I would go Raiders there as well. Yeah, I'm with you.
Star 3, Adams, Olave, Lamb, Amari Cooper. It would be Adams, Olave, and Lamb for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you as well. We did just get a super chat from Miles. Let's make sure we get to that straight away. Thank you for the donation, Miles. Hey, guys, start Hollywood, Rice, or Douglas. This would be Rashee Rice for me. I want to start Hollywood. I don't want to sit Hollywood. I love the guy. But I also have no idea what he looks like with Clayton Tune. So it'll be Rashee Rice for me in that matchup. And you agree?
Yeah, completely agree. Thank you so much for that super chat there, Miles. We appreciate you.
Very kind of you. Skipping the queue with that donation. Deathlord is the next question here. Trade Tony Pollard for Eckler? Yes.
Yes, I like that
Give me
a
Eckler.
lot.
Absolutely. Was just looking at the rest of the question. Yes. Yezer says, but then again, after the trade, I would have CMC, Hill, Hurts, Cup, so it would be a wrap. That's true. Start Rice, Dawson, or Watson. I feel like we just answered this one, no?
Yeah, we did. PJ, same question.
Yeah.
Rank Chuba, Addison, and Cook. I'm assuming James Cook. It will be James Cook. At least this week specifically, it'll be James Cook, Chuba, Addison.
Yeah, I agree. Prime Time says Ford or Singletary. I'll go Ford.
Ford.
Or should I grab Chubby off the waivers? Yeah, I would go Chuba over those options myself.
Yeah, I would still go Ford there.
When healthy and active, Kyler or Fields rest of the year, I'll still go. Here's what I would say, dude. Like, Fields will give you higher upside games, but I think Kyler will be a more consistent starter for you. That's how I would view this. Like, Kyler, I don't believe will tank your season. Like, for example, in the playoffs, Wadaki, who's more likely to give you an under 10-point game? I feel like that's Justin Fields. But who's more likely to win you your championship? I think that's also Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think it just all depends on when Kyler comes back. If Kyler comes back next week and he has some time to kind of get acclimated with the rhythm, that feels good for me. But if he comes back,
just quickly, he cannot come back after next week. If they don't bring him back next week, he's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so I guess like if he's just gonna be on the active roster but not playing.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
And he's just playing the backup, and he just will be limited. I think if he gets full swing, hypothetically next week, I would rather have Kyler Murray in the playoffs because I think he would get his rhythm back. Right? He has to get a couple games underneath him. He has to get acclimated to that knee. He has to understand how he feels, what he can do, what he cannot do. But if he doesn't, if he comes back like week 14, week 13, I'm not sure if I'm starting Kyler Murray at all in the playoffs. Personally,
you also have to ask. Well, I think you and I have different confidence in Kyler then, because I definitely feel confident in a one quarterback league of him being a starter. But you also have to ask the same question of Justin Fields, who is dealing with a hand injury. That's a big deal for someone who's trying to throw the ball. You know, what's the grip level like? What's the accuracy going to be? Is your touch going to be there anymore? Something you already struggled with, but. You know, so
I would agree. Like, there's definitely concerns from both. I guess it just all depends when both of these guys get back on the field and how their injuries have affected them.
We did just get a super chat from Gorilla Kids, so we'll get to that straight away. Thank you for your donation, man. Very kind. One wide receiver in a flex: Wilson, Puka, Lockett, Flowers, Mixon. This is pretty easy for me. This would be Wilson and Flowers. Actually, it'll be Wilson. I'm not going to say it's easy, but that's the decision I definitely would make. Of course, Lockett is boom bust at this point this year, but yeah, Wilson, I think the Flowers for me.
The close one for me would be Mixon, but it'd be Wilson and Flowers for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that super chat, Gorilla.
Thank you very much. We did get a question from Isleet. Rashawn or Keontae? I'll go Keontae here, just purely based on the fact that he's probably leading this backfield. Now, again, like I've said with Keontae Ingram today, if a report comes out that Tony Jones is going to take the workload, then you have to pivot. You have to change your mind there. But as of right now, I expect Keontae to be the lead running back here. It's not a good matchup, but he'll get more touches than Rashawn, in my opinion. So, and Rashawn doesn't have a good matchup either, by the way, guys.
Yeah, Rashawn doesn't have a good matchup either, and I think that is the biggest thing here. I'll go Keontae here, but I won't be surprised if Roscoe outscores Keontae.
Neither. Zay Flowers or Metcalf? I'm going Zay Flowers.
Zaza.
Sauce didn't play, apparently.
I guess. I think we're talking about the A.J. Brown thing against the Jets, so it makes sense, actually.
It would still be Emmanuel Forbes as the best. Jake, thank you for the donation, man. Hi, fellas. Half PPR, must start 2 out of 3. Rice, Singletary, Ramondre. So this would be Rice and Ramondre for both of us, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
Says, thanks, I'm playing Kelsey, so I'm afraid my day might be over before it starts. Well, look, at least you got some equity in that game. Like, you know? So, I mean, look, anytime you play Kelsey, it's probably not a good matchup for you. But
yeah, probably not, but you got it.
You can do your best. That's all we can do. Daniel says Mostert or Henderson / Freeman. Mostert for me.
Yeah.
JT Mostert. Or Moss. JT for me.
Agreed.
Rank Elijah said, "Did you answer my question about Henderson or Cooper?" Pretty sure
Yes,
we
we did.
If it was in if it's in there, we're going top to bottom. We said Cooper. Naaman says rank Chuba, Addison, and Cook. It would be James Cook, I'm assuming. So James Cook.
We did this again.
Chuba,
We did
Addison.
this already.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones
okay.
or Zay Flowers? Zay Flowers for me.
Zay.
Jason is the next
What's up,
one.
guys? Yeah, he says bench 1, 12-team PPR 3 flex with Christian Watt. We answered this is ready.
We did. Yeah, we said Johnston.
We said
Guys,
Johnston.
do us a favor and don't put your questions in twice. It just makes everyone wait a little bit longer. So just be thoughtful. We're going from top to bottom. We do appreciate you, Jason. Maybe it was someone else who asked that question, but the answer for us is Johnston. There, we do appreciate you. Maybe that wasn't Jason who did it. I don't know. Darren Waller apparently, yeah, he is on IR. Apparently it's season ending. Let's see. Hopefully not.
We'll wait and see.
I
haven't heard that, but
super chat from Victor. Thank you for the donation, Victor. Start Mostert, Pacheco, or Rachaad White. Need 2. Incredibly difficult question to answer. I'll just start there. Incredibly difficult question to answer.
Yeah, man, both of these guys I don't love this week specifically, just based off their matchup, in my opinion. I think we kind of spoke about it a little bit with Pacheco and Mostert.
I'm starting Mostert and Pacheco. I definitely get it. I don't like the matchup for Mostert, but
and
I just feel like when you're on an offense like Miami, the matchup, it's not that it doesn't matter, but it's just like, how are you going to sit a guy that has a 30-point ceiling every week?
No, I understand. And I think, like, when I think of this matchup, I look at the matchups where they were in similar positions and how Raheem Mostert has performed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. He has performed where they're firing on all cylinders when there's really no challenge. Michael Penix just threw a crazy touchdown, by the way. Okay. But yeah, like, I think of those things, and I'm concerned about Raheem Mostert coming into this week. I think of the same thing with Isaiah Pacheco, what we saw last week, where they struggled, and you saw him have his worst outing so far this year. So obviously it's probably just one-offs, and anything can happen. But I am still going Pacheco and Mostert. Just know that I'm not 100% confident in starting both of these guys this week. But
Rachaad White could easily outscore them. I mean, it's not like these guys 100%. Are not in two different worlds. It's a tough call. Irvin, thank you for the donation, man. Myers, Higgins, Hollywood, and Ford at the flex. I guess we can only choose one then, which would be Higgins for me.
Higgins, yeah, it'll be Higgins.
Yeah, thank you for your donation, man. Very, very kind. The next question in order is from Mr. Green. Hey, guys, wanted to do a shout-out to you since I started Deontay Johnson over Kupp, and it paid off.
Talk it up.
We got you. Yeah.
Deontay Johnson. I'm playing against Zach this week. He started Will Levis. What an idiot this guy is.
I had to. I had to, guys. It was Will Levis or Jonathan Mingo. All right? Hate me. Superflex leagues. You love it. Jacobs or Mostert? It would be Josh Jacobs for me.
Yeah, it'd be Josh Jacobs.
Just traded Mostert and Hopkins for Devontae Adams. Mostert and Hopkins. No, I don't think you gave up too much. I think that's fine, assuming you have plenty of
especially with Devon coming back. Yeah, Devon's coming back as well. I think after this week, right? Is it this week he can be activated to come back?
When is their bye week though? I think it's actually I think it's week 11, sorry.
Okay, so not this week. So you have
actually quite a few weeks away still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have a game this week, obviously.
And then a bye week.
Do they have the bye week after this week?
They have the bye week in week 10. So this is a prime opportunity, by the way, for all you Raheem Mostert owners to sell Raheem now. Yeah. During this game, before this game, after this game, if he goes off, you hope.
If Mostert is not crucial to your guys' team, I would sell him right now. Because it's going to be much more difficult for you to sell him next week when people are realizing he's on a bye. But if he's not necessary to your starting lineup, most of you guys, he would be. But if he's not necessary to your starting lineup, I would be willing to kind of look at selling him high right now, because then the bye week happens. It's tough to sell him. Then someone's like, oh, well, guess what? A-Chain's back next week anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it makes sense. We did get a super chat from Fourth and Schlong. Get the big old Fourth and Schlong out.
You'll love to see it.
half PPR, one flex, Rashawn, Madison, Downs, Dell. This would be Downs for us.
Downs.
Now, let's say Downs doesn't play, then it will be tanked out, correct?
Yes, completely
Yes.
agree.
So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for your donations. Very, very kind.
Back to the top here, guys. If you want to skip the line, essentially all you have to do is drop a super chat. You don't have to, but we are going in order back to the top here. It looks like our next question is Harrison. So who do you start at tight end, Pitts or Ferguson? I'm going Ferguson this week. Highest scoring game in my opinion. He's going to get some work.
This will be Kyle Pitts for me. There will be no Drake London, and Drake London typically dominates target share, so I could see Kyle Pitts seeing 10 targets this week, and that's very intriguing for me with Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, Arnav, I think is next. I think is there Death Lord talking. Start 2, full PPR, Devonta Smith, Collins, Rashad White. Devonta Smith and Rashad White for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Teabag.
Yeah.
I think what running back should I target with Connor plus Christian, Kirk, or Amari? I mean, brother, Teabag, we say this all the time. Send us a trade offer that maybe you've gotten. There's so many scenarios that we can go.
Yeah. It's
so
tough
many
to
running
give you options because what matters is what the other people in your league value players as. Like the people that we could, like, let's say, for example, okay, go get Jonathan Taylor. You could go contact Jonathan Taylor owner and he'd be like, I have no interest in James Conner. So it's really tough. I would say the best way for you to actually get offers is to put a player on the trade block or to send something that you like and let's see what comes back. But what I would say overall is I want James Conner on my team when he comes back. With him and Kyler Murray, I think James Conner is going to be the guy in that backfield. And James Conner was very good before he was injured. I mean, I think that goes under the radar a little bit. He was a fantastic asset before he was injured. In his first 3 weeks, he scored over 12 points in every single game. He was on track to be a top 12, running back. Then the injury happens. So I think he will absolutely dominate the opportunities in that backfield. So I don't really like the idea of selling him, but if you're going to sell Connor plus a Kirk, then you got to get a name like a Henry, Taylor, Walker, Swift, Jacobs, Bijan. But again, it's all comes down to those owners.
Yeah, completely agree.
Charlene. Full PPR,
Yeah.
Henderson or Hubbard, Addison or Brandon Cooks. This would be Hubbard.
Hubbard, yeah.
And then Addison or
Okay.
Brandon Cooks, I'll go Addison.
Yeah, Brandon Cook is a high upside play for me coming into this week,
Yeah.
depending on what you need. I understand starting Addison, so keep that in mind. I think we answered this one.
Rashawn or Keontae, we said Keontae.
Yeah, I think Billy, Jackson Smith or Christian Watson. I think we answered this as well earlier, not from Billy. I think he answered his super chat potentially. And we said Christian Watson. I remember having the conversation.
Yes, I remember having the conversation too.
Where are
Rice
we
or Downs,
here?
I think. This would be Rice. We've answered
Cole. Yeah, we answered that. Steven, half PPR, Gus Edwards, Godwin, or Rice.
Tough question there.
It is a tough question. I'm going the upside in Rice this week out of those options.
Yeah.
But really close.
I'm with
I
you
think
there.
those guys are at similar tiers here. Love the chats here. Aquamarine, he said Jonathan Taylor or Swift rest this season. I think we'll both say JT, but Swift has been great so far, to be honest.
Yeah, still JT for me.
500K at dinner with Jay-Z.
500K easily. I'll take 100K.
I'm gonna go dinner with Jay and act for $1 million.
Yeah,
that's easy.
I'm sure that's gonna work out well for
I'm like, I don't know if you know from I know you from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn too. He said, "Oh, you from Brooklyn? All right, here's $1 million."
Here's a free $1 million.
I mean, what's $1 million to him? Pennies.
That's just not how the world works.
Pennies. Eckler, CMC. I think we both say CMC.
But yeah, he's not playing this week. But yeah, Singletary or Josh Downs. If Downs plays, Downs. Billy's asking the same question multiple times. Help us out, brother. Put your question in one time, guys. We're trying our best.
Yeah, it'll be Collins for me from Jake. Myers or Collins.
Collins for me as well. Ishmael, love it. Hello, guys. Mingo or QJ? Bigger ceiling this week. I would say QJ.
Yeah, he does have the bigger ceiling.
Evans or Rice? I'll go Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike here.
Kevin says start 2. Half PPR. Jason, Watson, Douglas, Johnston. This would be Pop Douglas
And Watson.
and Watson. I agree. Let's see.
Gosh, you just love each other here.
I love the conversations in the chat. Gus Edwards or Nico Collins?
Where are we here?
I'll go Nico Collins there.
Contreras, Steven Contreras.
Mm-hmm.
You're going Nico there?
If it's PPR, yeah.
Yeah, PPR, I'm going Nico as well. I would agree. Purple. Drop Miles Sanders. I don't think you should drop him as of yet. I think anything can happen. But start 2, Singletary, Ford, Henderson. It will be Ford and Henderson for me.
Oh. You said Ford and Henderson?
Mm-hmm.
It would be Ford and Singletary for me.
Okay.
Close. Kels, James Cook, Josh Downs, Nico Collins, Romeo Dobbs, Royce Freeman. Pick one.
Pick one.
Be James Cook for me.
Yeah, brother James here. Brandon, Devonta Smith, Cooper Kupp, Addison, Godwin, Pacheco. Start 2, Devonta Smith and Godwin for me.
Yeah, this would be Devonta Smith and Pacheco, but it is close. I hear you.
Silky, full PPR. Jacoby Myers, Addison, Rice. We're going Rice here.
I would. Keep in mind, guys, we will only be live for the next 15 minutes to the top of the hour. So just keep that in mind. We'll do our best to get to every question. Super chat's an option, not compulsory, of course. Sport Dog 1008 team, 6-point PPR. I was able to pick up Chuba Hubbard. I have James Cook and Chuba Hubbard for my RBs. I might put Aaron Jones in place of James Cook. Coach says Aaron Jones will have a full workload, unsure.
Shout out to Coach.
So yeah, that's a tough call right there.
This is the risky play sport, you know. I mean, I agree. I think any other day, if Aaron Jones is 100%, he's getting the workload. We're both starting Aaron Jones over James Cook. We just haven't seen it yet, and yet he hasn't been healthy. But I think if you need a win right now, I feel like the safer floor is James Cook. Now, if James Cook gets you, 13 to 15 points, but Aaron Jones gets you 15 to 20 points, I don't think you'd be that upset that you started James Cook. I think you'd be upset if you lost by that.
Exactly.
You know, but
look, this is a tough one. I'll be honest with you. These guys are genuinely back to back to back. 16, 17, 18 on the week for me at the running back position. And Jones is ranked last of them. But I don't have confidence in my answer, so...
I hear you.
Y'all taking Rachaad White or Javonte rest of the year? I'll take Javonte. They finally unleashed the beast, and he looked good last week versus a very good defense in Kansas City. So, it would be Javonte for me. 30 touches last week, guys. 30 touches.
Yeah, it was great.
So, it was great. Javonte. We did just get a super chat from Precision Building.
Precision Building. He's accurate.
Pick one. Addison or Henderson, half PPR.
Gosh.
Oof.
Gosh. I mean, obviously, Precision, you know.
Who are the Vikings playing?
The Vikings are playing the Falcons. So, AJ Terrell with Jaron Hall throwing the ball to
This actually may be the toughest question of the week for me. Like, of all the questions we've had, I think this is the most difficult one.
Yeah, and I think, I may sound like a broken record, but I always say safer floor, high upside. Henderson has a safer floor. It looks like you expect these guys to be utilized a little bit more on the ground, especially if Matthew Stafford is out. But what's also really good is that Matthew Stafford could be in. No. And that can still be good for Henderson.
I don't think he plays.
I hear you. I'm going Darrell Henderson because I feel like he is a safer floor if I need, at least 8+ points. Now, Addison can get you more than 15 points, but I don't know if we can confidently say that can happen with Jaron Hall. Maybe he pulls a Will Levis on us and goes off.
Probably not, though.
Oh,
I really don't like this question. I just want to be 100% honest with you. Thank you for your donation. But this is extremely difficult to answer. I would say if you are the favorite in your matchup, I think Henderson is the play just to play it safe. But if you are, let's say Thursday night happened and you faced Deontay Johnson and, you started George Pickens, for example, and now you're down big time, then I would go Henderson or Addison there and just believe that they're going to scheme up as many touches as they can for him, as many targets as they can. But again, the safe play is Henderson, so I hope that's helpful. Irvin with the donation, thank you. Hold on to Debo or look to trade. Shout out son Liam. Shout out to Irvin's son Liam.
Hey, shout out to Liam, man. Hope you're doing good, brother.
Thank you for the donation. Shout out to the whole Partridge family playing fantasy together. You love to see it. But yeah, Debo Samuel, I don't know where you stand, but for me, I don't think there's enough confidence around the fantasy community to give you a good return. Like, since week 4, the guy's been really, really average. And a lot of that has had to do with an injury. He's been a decoy. But you haven't been able to play this guy since week 3. And people's minds in fantasy change so quickly. So you're telling me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row, you have not been happy with Debo Samuel in fantasy. A lot of that not to do with his any fault of his own. So I don't personally believe that you'd be able to trade him away to get something that's as valuable. What I would say is, here's some names that I would rather have. I'd rather have a Mike Evans. I'd rather have a Devonta Smith. I'd rather have a Garrett Wilson, a Chris Olave, a Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams. Obviously Adam Thielen. But I don't think that some of those trades are possible. So that's how I would answer the question.
Yeah, I hear you. I think I would agree. I don't know if the price is there for Debo Samuel. I do believe he does get better. I think he's really vital to this offense.
I agree.
And I think he is, 11 points, 21 points, and then 25 points. I think if you had Debo in the first 3 weeks, you were buzzing. But then the injury started to come up, started to plague him, and then it went downhill from there. So I would rather keep Debo in the hopes and the expectation that this second half of the season, now, and he also had his bye week, that he's going to stay healthy for the rest of you hope that he stays healthy for the rest of the season. Normally Debo misses 4 games in the season, and he's already missed 2. He has a bye week.
Feels like he's already missed 4 with those other injuries, to be honest.
Exactly. So I think that's, if you're going based on the trends with Debo,
he's done his time. You're saying
he's done his time. Exactly.
What if he's another offender and then gets put
another
back
offender,
into the IR
2-time
jail?
offender, brother? Then you're. Jeez. I don't know. You don't want.
But anyway, that's what we would do. Thank you for your donation. Very kind to the Partridge family. What's up, Mr. 1904? What's up? Bench one, please. This would be Henderson. I would bench. Lots of thought.
This is tough, man. It's not that I don't trust in Chuba. It's not. It's genuinely. It's not that I don't trust him. It's just that I don't know if he's going to be efficient or good. I don't know if he finds the end zone. I'd rather lean on Henderson and Moss finding the end zone.
Okay, the problem I have with that is, what confidence do you have in Henderson that I don't see? Because the guy has been averaging under 3 yards per carry. He's found the end zone once. He's not been like miles ahead of Chuba. And Chuba's the clear lead.
You're right. I think he's just on the better offense. Maybe not this week. Not with Brett Rippon. I agree. Not with Brett Rippon this week. I think he has a safer floor. 13 to 11 points, in the first 2 weeks coming off the street here. And Chuba, yeah, he did get those opportunities against Miami. He found the end zone, which was great. I think that was his best game so far this year. I'm not sure if I think a lot of the reasons
against the Colts have been very, very, very good this year in fantasy. And you add on to the fact that he's not splitting a backfield like Henderson. This is a clear Hubbard over Henderson for me. Like this one's like by a mile, but that's just maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm too confident in Hubbard.
I'm just not as confident in Hubbard because of how I think this game could just get away. Gardner Minshew has been scoring, but
there's never been a game this year where the Colts have dominated anyone. It's always been shootouts. You're right.
It's always been shootouts, which could hinder Hubbard. Anyways, that's I'm just putting my 2 cents there, Mister.
Okay. So you're going Henderson and Moss.
I am going Henderson and Moss.
All right, I am going Hubbard and Moss, but I can understand. Kareem Hunt or Henderson?
Going Kareem Hunt.
I'll go Kareem Hunt as well. This week I had to start W running back on bye this week because of all the buys. I'm not sure what Craig's saying there, but thank you for being with us, man. Kareem or Devon Singletary this week?
Kareem.
Yeah, I would still go Kareem there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs or Mostert? I'll go Jacobs.
Agreed.
How are your guys' home leagues looking?
Oh, you want to know my home? You want to know my home team? Let me show you.
Well, Badaki and I are actually facing off in our home Superflex league, and
I have been plagued with injury. James Conner, J.K. Dobbins. I had Deontay Johnson, who finally came back, as well. I mean, Deshaun Watson got hurt as well. Brandon Cook was irrelevant the whole time. I mean, everyone that I've drafted, I think my first 4 picks in my draft was out for more than my first 5 picks, because I did take Deontay Johnson, I'm pretty sure, in the 5th or 6th round.
See, what happened to you is you drafted Deshaun Watson, and the fantasy gods punished you for doing so.
Yeah,
rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Everyone, and I'm 1-7 in one of our big home leagues.
Yeah, that's a big home league.
I'm pretty shit right now.
We face off. This is our home dynasty league. I really love my team in this league. Obviously, I don't like starting Miles Sanders. Let's be clear, but that's because Travis Etienne's on bye. But who am I facing this week? Elijah. We've got Pat Mahomes, Sanders, Breece Hall, Addison, Flowers, Hawkinson, Higgins, Jacoby, Joe Burrow. I'll probably take Jacoby out and put maybe JS in, maybe Tank Dell. I don't know. We got Kyle Pitts on the bench.
So many injuries, though, anyway. I have been hurt with this year that I haven't been able to compete.
Yeah.
And my other team is actually really good. The one quarterback league.
Oh, yeah.
I've just been losing by one or 2 points. I mean,
that other league
I have Alvin Kamara.
I'm top 3 in scoring, and I'm like bottom of the league.
I'm 2-6, but I have Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, Garrett Wilson. I have Joe Mixon, Deshaun Watson, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, and I'm 2-6. GG's.
Ferguson or Schultz this week? I'll go Ferguson.
Agreed.
Should I trade Puka for Breece Hall? I'm shocked that you can get Breece Hall for Puka, so absolutely yes.
Yeah.
Bay Diamonds with the donation, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bryce Young or Mac Jones in week 10. Oh, we're thinking next week. I'll have Tua on bye. Bryce Young or Mac Jones.
Bryce Young.
Who they play next week? I haven't looked at
I don't even have to look at Mac Jones, but Bryce Young is playing the Chicago Bears.
There you go.
I don't have to look at Mac Jones.
And also, the issue if you start Mac Jones, again, is you have to start Mac Jones. And that just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Okay, keep in mind, guys, we'll be live for about the next 3 minutes till the top of the hour. Get your super chats in if you need anything desperately answered. No obligation, of course. We'll do our best. Omar says Moss or Gus to start. I'll go Gus.
Yeah, agreed.
Keaton says I got offered Devontae Adams for CD. I'll take CD. Justin says, would you trade DK for Cup? 2024 third, 2025 fourth. My team is competing, and I have. I'll take DK over Cup in Dynasty for sure.
Yes, in Dynasty for sure. Agreed.
HQ says, wait for Waddle and Puka with Godwin at flex. No shot at stacking Watson and Cooper. I'm trying to understand what the question is.
What do you mean wait for Waddle? I don't understand. Like, wait to see how Waddle performs?
All I'll say is, like, if the question is Waddle, Puka, Godwin, I'm starting Waddle and Godwin over Puka. But I'm not really sure how to answer the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hear you.
Joseph says need 2 in the flex, or need 2 full PPR. Collins, Palmer, Puka. Palmer's not playing, my man, so Collins and Puka will be your options there.
Is he confirmed out?
Palmer's not playing. He's out.
Okay, he got ruled out. Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I know he was questionable with the knee, and I said he needed to practice today to not play, and that's another guy that I have on my team that I'm playing against Zach that I can't start. Shout out to me.
Demario Douglas or Christian Watson in the flex. I think this is where I would go Pop. And yes, I'm going Pop.
Yeah, I like Pop Douglas. Yeah.
Howell or Watson, I'll go Howell.
Yes.
Singletary, Watson, or Tank. I'll go Singletary there, personally.
Singletary, Watson, or Tank. I'm going Watson.
Millie C says pick 2 and a flex. Man,
Kamara.
This would be the last 3. Kamara, Bijan, Barkley.
Yeah, agreed.
Puka, Addison, or Dell. I'll go Addison.
I think we answered this in different ways. Oh no, we didn't.
I'll go
tough.
Go Puka. My bad.
Yeah, I'll go Puka.
But Puka is injured, so if he doesn't play, then Addison. Jason, what's up, man? Need 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Puka, Lockett. Puka, Tyler to Lockett. Bijan, Madison. Okay, this would be Lockett and Bijan.
And tight end is Ferguson for me.
McBride for me. Appreciate you, Jason. Quentin Johnson, I'm pretty sure. Or Jahan Dotson or Watson. This would be Jahan Dotson for me.
Jahan Dotson as well.
Chuba or Hunt. I'm going Chuba.
Hunt for me.
We answered precisions in the super chats. Death Lord says, can you guys tell me your biggest fantasy busts at each position? Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. The biggest bust this year at quarterback. I guess you could say Fields. I was in on Fields, but that injury, he was starting to pick it up.
All my people have been busts on injury, to be honest. Outside of Elijah Moore, I feel like.
Yeah, my guy running backs were.
Oh, actually no, Kenny Pickett for me at the quarterback position.
Connor, so I guess Connor is injured.
For me, it was Kenny Pickett at the quarterback position. I'll rephrase. Not rephrase that, but I'll update that. Running back Cam Akers was also a big one. I mean, he got traded away, GG's, but I'm looking good right now on James Cook and Alvin Kamara at my running back position for like my guys. And then my wide receivers, I had DJ Moore, Elijah Moore, Jahan Dotson, where Elijah Moore and Jahan Dotson are essentially nothing.
Yeah, I definitely liked Darren Waller this year. And I think we finally started to see all the reasons why people like Darren Waller. And then he got injured. And it's just my personal opinion. If anyone's victory lapping a Darren Waller injury, it's like, really? You're going to victory lap an injury? But yeah, obviously right now it looks awful. But that is the top of the hour, guys. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
That is
guys.
it for today. We do appreciate you. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. Drop a like on the channel. And, lots of cool things happening over on our Dynasty channel, by the way. So if you don't know, we do have a Dynasty channel. And we are currently scouting the 2024 NFL draft class. And we will be making content on that very, very soon. I'll put a link in the chat. If you enjoy hanging out with us, if you enjoy talking football, if you play Dynasty, if you don't know what Dynasty is and you want to get more involved, go ahead and subscribe to our Dynasty channel. We're going to be putting out a ton of content. The amount of content you guys see on this channel in season will be the same for the Dynasty channel in the off season. Football doesn't stop. We talk about, the rookies upcoming. We talk about Dynasty football. We talk about moves that you can make in the off season. So go ahead and subscribe to us over there. Outside of that, that is it for today. Enjoy the rest of your week. And good luck. Get a win. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate you guys.